this gives you some snapshots of things going on. So we said we're going to focus on software engineers. We feel it was a broad audience for that, but really it would work for everything. Such as say we're just taking this a broad approach, right? We're going to think North America, and we're not going to limit it down from that. We could approach this in just a simple way and say, okay, we're just going to look for someone that mentioned software engineer. We're not too worried about narrowing it down at this point. And we're going to pop that in there, and maybe we'll refine it down just to make it a little bit more. I want to say software engineers and senior software engineers, and I don't want interns, but I want software engineer twos. And you could go further and further, but right now we have an addressable audience, about 1.5 million across North America. That's fine for the purpose of what we're doing. And we click into people insights, and a couple of things I really like. One, the data that I'm about to kind of walk through really quickly, but two is that I can export this into a PDF, which goes really well for hiring managers or clients, depending on who you support, or an actual Google Doc or Excel doc that actually has all the data next to the graphics in one of those two platforms, which is really good if someone wants to see the numbers behind it. So one, what I get out of this, one, I have a sense of where the addressable market is. No surprise, San Fran and Seattle and New York City are going to be the hot markets. But I look down and see Chicago and Austin and Los Angeles and Boston are also kind of areas that are coming up. I could get a sense of where most of those people come from a current company. Now, the fact these percentages are really low, but still represent about 48,000 candidates, means that there's probably a lot of other smaller companies that just didn't make the mix. So we're not going to talk too much on that. Doesn't make sense. But here's where it gets interesting. So it's going to give me a bunch of titles, which is great. Maybe there's some titles I haven't thought of, or some deviations or permutations on the titles that will really help inform Boolean searching later down the road. It'll also give me an outline of what it looks like from a diversity standpoint. I know there was some questions before. I forget who was speaking about HireEasy, but how do they actually determine this? And I believe both platforms, Seekout and HireEasy, use a similar approach of both informed, meaning where people have actually stated what they are, but also inferred. The same sort of tools and tactics we use when creating those manual Boolean strings, looking at names and locations and different indications in their profile. But it gives you just a sense. And if diversity is going to be important, then obviously we're going to have a little bit more of a challenge when we think about Black or African American and veterans than we will from an Asian or even a woman standpoint, right? So good information to go into it, but really powerful when you're kind of speaking through some of this data and actually using the data and the visuals to help make your points. And this will actually elaborate a little more, and it could show you how it actually breaks down how many total potential addressable candidates through this estimate.